I think everything has to be on the table. We obviously want to talk to President Trump.
That's the House Oversight Committee's top Democrat warning that his party would seek testimony from President Trump in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation if they were to gain control in November. Former President Clinton already set to testify, and CNN's Manu Raju asked House Speaker Johnson about the apparent disparity.
Shouldn't Trump have to answer some questions, too? He's been named more than 1,000 times in these documents.
The president submits to press inquiries every day.
Not under oath. Not under oath.
Not under oath, but he's asked the questions all the time, and he answers them. We'll see where it goes.
Under oath does matter. Where it went today is in several other directions, starting with billionaire Bill Gates, whose name appears in a draft message from 2013 mentioning, among other things, marital strain between Gates and his then-wife, Melinda. Also, the idea of Gates having concerns about a sexually transmitted disease. Today, Gates told CNN affiliate 9 News in Australia that the email is false, that he never went to Epstein's island, never, quote, met any women, and had this to say about the relationship they had.
Yeah, I met Jeffrey in 2011. The focus was always he knew a lot of very rich people, and he was saying he could get them to give money to global health. You know, in retrospect, that was a dead end, and I was foolish to spend time with him. I was one of many people who regret ever knowing him.
Well, Melinda Gates has weighed in, saying this last night about her ex-husband.
For me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage. But I have moved on from that. Whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
As for the longevity doctor and CBS News contributor Peter Attia, the network has yet to decide what to do about him. His emails to Epstein, many of them fawning, some of them misogynistic, appear in those files. Dr. Attia has denied any criminal behavior and says he was never on Epstein's jet, his island, or at, in his words, quote, any sex parties. Then there is the former Prince Andrew, who we've learned has now officially moved out of his longtime home, the Royal Lodge, though he had already gotten his walking papers from his brother, the King, before these photos you see there became public. Also today, more fallout from this question by CNN's Caitlin Collins, and the answer she got from the president.
What would you say to the survivors who feel like they haven't gotten justice?
You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on your face.
Well, I'm asking you about survivors of Jeffrey Epstein,
You know why
Mr.
you're not
President?
smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth.
The president touched off a firestorm when he spoke that way to Collins yesterday. And today, the vice president, well, he poured fuel on it.
The president says, why don't you ever smile?
Yeah.
And it's actually like so perceptive, even if you're asking a tough question, even if you take your job very seriously. Like, why does it always have to be so antagonistic?
Well, she's doing her job. Joining us now, New York Democratic Congressman Daniel Goldman. Good to have you, Congressman. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Good to be with you, Jim.
So you heard the House Republican Speaker Johnson say that President Trump should not have to testify in the House's Epstein investigation. Of course, they went through great lengths to pressure former President Bill Clinton to testify. Do you believe Democrats should force Trump to testify if you were to retake control of Congress this fall?
Well, I think they have absolutely set a new precedent where not only do you have to meet the exact specifications of a congressional subpoena, which is usually negotiated through what's called the accommodations process. Well, that's out the window. But then they can add additional conditions to the subpoena that were not even included, and somehow that's okay. And I can guarantee you, Jim, that we are going to use that exact precedent that Chairman Comer set in completely unreasonably turning the screws on a former president to force him to testify on videotape about things that may be completely unrelated to the investigation, rather than to negotiate in good faith as he's required to do. So if that's the precedent the Republicans are going to set, then we are going to follow that. And if that means that it's the president's kids, if that means it's any cabinet official, if that means it's any Qatari prince, you can be sure, up to and including Donald Trump, you can be sure that we are going to use that same standard.
We'll be watching. Well, the president has repeatedly said, as you know, it's time to move on from the Epstein files, including when he was attacking my colleague, Caitlin Collins. The Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says the DOJ's review is over. There will be no additional prosecutions. You, of course, former federal prosecutor. Based on what you've seen so far, does it make sense the administration is effectively saying case closed?
Yeah, I'm not real surprised that Donald Trump would like to move past the Epstein files, given that his name is mentioned more than 5,000 times, including sworn affidavits and allegations of him engaging in sexual assault with minors. So, yes, it's no surprise Donald Trump would like to turn the page. What's interesting is that we only have half of the files. Why don't we have the rest of the files? If they are duplicates, which is one reason they've given, then just turn them over. There should be no reason not to. But we don't have the rest. And given what we saw about Donald Trump in the files that needs further follow-up, what are they hiding in the remaining 3 million pages? And as to what Mr. Blanche said, even he went on TV and said that videos and photographs don't speak, so you need witnesses. Well, I can tell you, Jim, from talking to the survivors, they have been asking to meet with Todd Blanche and the Department of Justice, and they have been denied the opportunity to do that. So, yes, you can say you need more evidence, but if you are refusing to accept evidence that's coming to you, then you are whitewashing the story, you are covering it up, and you are continuing this massive cover-up to try to conceal Donald Trump's clear involvement in all this, as well as many other potential perpetrators.
Congressman Goldman, thanks so much for taking the time tonight.
Thanks, Jim.
We do have, just in the last few moments, a significant new development now in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Just moments ago, her daughter